What's up, guys? That car sounds like a go-kart or a giant four-wheeler or something. Anyways, what's up, guys? This is the next project I'm doing. It's a Teo 110. I paid a little more for this because I don't plan on painting the plastics. It's actually in really good shape. I aired up the tires when I got home with it about a week ago. All the tires hold air. All the brakes work. It just doesn't start. I took out a battery out of a different four-wheeler, put it in here, so it turns over. I haven't really checked much on it, but if it has compression, I'm not too worried about it. I think it's going to be a super easy build. Also, when I hooked up the battery, the tail light worked. The front light did not. But the front light is also really dingy, so I went ahead and ordered a new front light. And I ordered a carb for it, a battery, and air filter, and I think that is it. Oh yeah, and a gas cap, because this chrome gas cap looks so ugly, honestly. It just looks terrible. Anyways, I think it's going to be a super easy build. I honestly think nothing's going to be wrong with the electrical. I looked at it. It doesn't look old. It doesn't look like it's brittle. It doesn't look like it's about to break. The carb looks like it was leaking gas at one point. I checked the oil. The oil looked fairly clean. So I guess let's go ahead and get started. But when I first get these, the very first thing I do is check the oil. As long as the oil isn't milky, then you don't have to really worry too much about the engine itself having rusty parts. The next thing I do, I bring it home. Oh yeah, by the way, if that has rusty parts, I'm probably not going to take it, or I'm going to offer him. If that oil is milky, or I think it might have rusty parts on the inside, I'm probably going to offer him a lot less, or maybe not even buy it. Anyways, I'm about to get started on this. I think it's going to be a super easy build, and I'm probably going to touch up any spots that I feel like need painted. I'm definitely going to paint these handlebars. I'm going to paint all this. I'm going to paint this little front piece. I'm going to paint this luggage rack. And just hope I didn't overpay on this and find something missing that I don't know about. Anyways, I'm going to get started. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and remove these. Well, I'm going to take this stuff off, set it to the side, and remove the plastics. Alright, so I have the plastics completely loosened. The back will slide right off. Clean. You know what? I might paint the bottom of these black, just to make it look a little nicer. You know what? I might do that. And I said I wasn't going to paint the plastics, but I think I'm going to do that. My biggest pet peeve when working on stuff is just working on dirty stuff. I don't like doing it, and I typically won't do it. After I take these plastics off, I'm going to probably check for compression, see anything else I need to order, and probably take this to the car wash and power wash it. But everything looks pretty good, honestly. It looks fairly clean. It looks like a complete quad. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is start removing all this stuff off the handlebars so I can take the handlebars off and get all this undone. Get the front plastics off. Okay, and I did notice these bolts are a little rusty. The bolts that seat the handlebars into place and keep them from moving up and down. I'm going to spray some PB Blaster on it. The reason I'm saying I'm going to spray some PB Blaster on it is because I took one of those off one time, and it ended up, I don't know if the threads were so rusty that it ripped it out, but it ended up damaging two out of the four threads on the bolt holes. So I ended up having to drill and tap those back, or retap those, so I don't want to do that again. So if you're in the same spot and you have rusty hardware on these handlebars, spray PB Blaster on it. Oh, something I just thought about, I actually didn't give a backstory on this. The guy was selling these, his kids used them for a couple years. These are 2012s, I believe, but the guy's kids used these for a couple years, and then they realized that, and then they outgrew them. Didn't realize they were too small, but I guess they realized they were too small. But anyways, they outgrew them, so they just weren't riding them anymore. And the guy let them sit under a under like a little canopy type of thing. But he let them sit for literally 2.5 years, and then he tried to start them. Batteries are dead. Batteries are dead. He couldn't recharge the batteries. So, well, anyways, he ended up trying to use a jumper. He tried to jump the batteries, and he was able to get this thing turned over, but he couldn't get it to fire, and he didn't know how much work it was going to be, if it was going to be a lot of work or not. And that's how I ended up with them. And I got them for a good price, and they're actually really nice. But anyways, so this is pretty much a quad build off these sitting outside for about 2.5, 3 years, not being used, and they actually look really nice, just dusty. And these are actually pretty nice because they have foot brakes. I already checked the foot brakes. The foot brakes work. It has hand brakes. I thought that was pretty cool. It has front and back brakes. Mine doesn't have front and back brakes. Neither does my kiddos. But I'm really excited to have these. I'm really excited to redo them, and I'm really excited to resell them. Honestly, I'm gonna paint underneath black so it makes the black pop a little more. I'm gonna clean the tires, paint those, repaint them black because those got pretty scuffed up. The rims have a few scratches. I'm gonna spray everything down with degreaser and then take it to the car wash and power wash it. But I'm not gonna do that tonight. And I think these are gonna be really easy builds. Anyways, stay tuned. By the way, everything I use in the description, besides the tools, but everything I order, like battery, carb, PB blaster, I'll link all that in the description. And you guys can just order it from the link below. Like I said, normally I'll replace all the wiring, but this one doesn't look like it's in bad shape. It's not brittle. I put a whole battery in it, all the electrical work, tail lights, the start switch. I don't know if the headlight switch works yet because the headlight didn't work. But if I do find out the headlight switch doesn't work, then I'll just replace all the electrical. I'm not going to troubleshoot any of it. And check this out. Actually, a wasp's nest on this carburetor, or on this air filter. Yeah, but troubleshooting electrical can take hours sometimes. I can replace the entire wiring harness with the plastics off it in about an hour. Okay, so the new battery's hooked up. The first thing I'm going to do is check and see if it has compression. Okay, so I was about to call it a night, clean all this stuff up, but then I realized there's a few more things that I could do. I finished removing any electrical that I could remove without undoing this wiring harness. And then I pulled off the carb, and I pulled off that. I'm gonna pull off this last air cleaner thing. By the way, these carbs come with a lot of little clips on them. They're actually still reusable, so might be a good thing to use to save those. Save some money in the future. So I'm going to be doing this a while, I bet. Okay, so I said I was going to take this to the car wash. I have it cleaned up good enough to take it to the car wash. I have everything off it that I want to take off it. All this stuff. Any electrical that I could take off without having to disassemble the entire wiring harness, I have off. But I just wanted to show you how big of a mess this is. Super dusty. I can see why it wouldn't start. Oil. Doesn't look great, but doesn't look bad. Pretty thick, but I'm gonna end up changing that anyways. But other than just being really dusty, it doesn't look bad. I'm gonna take off the stator and get that to turn a couple times, or take off the stator cover, get that to turn a couple times. It does look like, actually it does, it looks like it's leaking, but it's not. Okay, but my biggest concern is actually that chain. The chain has quite a bit of rust on it. I might end up taking that off and You know what? Maybe I could just put wax on it, and then it'll clean up quite a bit. I think it'll clean up quite a bit when I go to the car wash. Maybe spray some WD-40 or some other lube on it, and I think it should be good because it turns pretty freely. Anyways, that's as far as I'm getting for tonight. Pretty excited about this build, I'm not gonna lie. Just dusty. Hate working on dusty stuff, hate working on dirty stuff. But once it's all cleaned up, it's gonna be a quick, simple build. All right, what's up, guys? Just got back from the car wash. I took this cap off because I just realized that it was metal and I could paint it instead of ordering a black one. It was chrome. I'm gonna get all the prep work done for paint. I'm gonna pull the tires, tape them off, get them ready to be repainted. I'm gonna repaint them black. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the stator and make sure there's no water in there. Like I said, I just got back from the car wash. I've already sprayed it down with the air hose quite a bit, but it cleaned up really nice, honestly. Super happy with it right now. How clean that starter came. Yeah, I think that guy took pretty good care of his stuff. I don't expect to spend too much money on this. Carb just came in today. Headlight comes in tomorrow. I plan on finishing it tomorrow night. But I already have the handlebars, the luggage rack, and the front grill guard painted. I'll show you that real quick. It's getting a little dark out. I just use rattle can paint, black paint with gloss. I'll have to flip these tomorrow and paint the other side. That's the gas cap that I'm painting. By the way, that inside's all taped off. You can't really see it that well, but it is. Okay, like I said, the new carb just came in. That's this bad boy right here, PZ20 or PZ19. Those are the ones I order. I think this one's a PZ20. I just get whatever one's cheaper that day. Like I said, I'm gonna pull the stator off. I'm gonna blow it out with air, make sure there's no water in there. I'm gonna pull this off, get it prepped for paint. I normally pull the gas tank off, but there's a lot of room to work here. And this fuel line doesn't really need, this one needs replaced, but I don't think I need to pull the fuel tank off this one. I really don't. This thing cleaned up really nice, no cracks or anything in the frame, no cracks in any welds. I'm very happy with the way it looks so far. I definitely already feel like I got my money worth out of this. So, just about to get started. By the way, I say this in all my videos. Usually when I start this off, I usually take off the stator, see if it's a 2-coil or 6-coil stator. But everything on this one looked pretty good. So the wire harness actually looks pretty nice on this one. So I did not plan on replacing it. There's a few clips that broke, but I'm gonna replace those. That one broke, I'm gonna replace that. But other than that, the rest of them look pretty good. If you don't know how to install a carburetor, I have a video up on how to do it. It's pretty detailed. You can check it out, it's on my channel. But you're gonna need to pull out the needle, the spring, and take off the top before you install it. Trust me, it'll save you a little bit of time. And when you're also putting this needle back in, there's a little, actually where this little nipple is, that's the side that needs to slide in this groove. But again, if you've never done that before, check out my channel and it'll show you how to do it. So as I started going through this, I noticed more and more that some of this stuff was actually pretty brittle. And I'm not trying to sell shitty stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace this wiring harness. I had a few of these clips break. Actually, listen. That's just me squeezing it. So a lot of this stuff's pretty brittle. I thought the wiring harness was good for the most part, but I guess I was wrong. Anyways, if you don't know how to replace one of these, I have a video up step by step on how to replace one. Just replace the entire wiring harness instead of trying to troubleshoot it. Takes about 30 minutes, costs about 20 bucks, and it's fairly easy. And it's a lot faster than having to go through all this and troubleshoot it all. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start replacing that, and then we'll test fire it and see if we can get it started up. Oh, by the way, another reason I'm gonna replace the entire wiring harness is because I want to stand behind my work. I don't want to sell shitty stuff to people. That being said, with all this being done, I was hoping to be about $250 into this and make maybe $250, $300 profit, but it's going to cut a little bit into the profit margin. That's fine. I'm okay with it as long as I'm selling good product and I'm doing good work. Anyways, I'm going to start replacing the wiring harness. Take me about 30 minutes. I'll time myself and tell you how long it takes me. I'll be right back. Alright, so it took me about 10-15 minutes to completely take it off. Actually, probably about 10 minutes. If you guys don't know how to put on a wiring harness, I have a video up step by step on how to wire a Chinese ATV. It's very simple. Once you do it once, you can do it really fast. Like I said, I'll have this one done in less than 30 minutes, I'm pretty sure. Another reason I'm rewiring this Chinese ATV, because I want to stand behind my work. I want to be known as the guy that sells quality four-wheelers and doesn't try to take any cheap routes out or anything like that. But let me show you what I'm talking about. You see this piece? Let me see. You can see it. Okay. Let me focus in on it. Oh, damn it. See this clip? Yeah, this thing, these are just brittle. I didn't think they were bad, but I guess they are bad. Anyways, like I said, I just want to stand by my work. I want to be known as the guy that sells quality shit. Especially in today's age, we live in a time where somebody can just post something and it goes viral. I don't ever want to be known as that guy. So I said I was going to time myself to see how long it took. I did time myself, but this wiring harness did not match completely. This didn't match this, so I just matched up the wires and hardwired it in. But now we're in there like swimwear, baby. So anyways, I said I was gonna time myself to see how long it took, and it took me 42 minutes, but I think I spent about 10 minutes having to strip these wires, hardwire them in. I also had to do it up here and kind of makeshift to make it work. So I'm still gonna say it took about 30 minutes to do if everything would have matched like it should have. Anyways, we know it all works now and I'm in a good spot. So by the way, like I say, I'll link everything in the description, but for the wiring harness to these little worm gear hose clamps, to the headlight, to the battery, everything I do in this build will be linked in the description. Just follow that link and you'll see exactly what I'm buying. If you guys want to purchase the same thing, awesome. If you guys are going to purchase the same thing, make sure you use that link so you support the channel. And I don't really get a kickback. It's like fucking 1%. I think I sold like 4 or 5 items and got $1. Anyway. So I can get this thing to fire but not stay on. I put gas in it and it's starting to get a little frustrating. But thinking about the issue that I ran into with the petcock, now I'm wondering if this gas tank's plugged also. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove this gas tank, rinse it out with some gas, shake it up, and dump it out. And go from there. Not having good luck. So I finally figured out what it was. The filter inside the gas tank was clogged. I didn't even think about it, but metal fuel tanks, they get rust inside of them, and there's a little filter on the inside that I probably should have cleaned out right away. I didn't realize it. So right after that, I had the throttle hanging off while it was pulling this cable, and it was literally just redlining this thing repeatedly, and I could not figure out what it was. But if you let this throttle hang, it pulls on the throttle right here, which is just revving the shit out of it. Anyways, I finally got it to idle. Took me about an hour. I'm way farther into this than I expected to be tonight. Or I'm not close to as far as where I expected to be tonight. It is what it is, but I guess now I finally got to idle. I'm just gonna adjust the idle right now. Way longer than I expected. Just lots of issues with the throttle, lots of issues with the carb. Finally running. I'm not sure how one of those wasn't tight, obviously, but Alright, so I have the plastics drying right now. I already painted them. Something I did learn from previous four-wheelers I did is paint the plastics first so they have time to dry. Now I'm going to pull these wheels off and get them prepped for paint. Prepping for paint is pretty much just putting tape all around the front of this on all the wheels and putting tape over the valve stem. And after I get that done, this quad is pretty much ready to be, or pretty much done. Finally fires up every time. That's a cold start, by the way. Just a quick update, just finished painting the rims. I painted the underside of these plastics black so they match the four-wheel a little better. But the amount of issues I had with this thing was unreal. Honestly, just completely unreal. But I'm literally down to just putting the wheels back on, putting the plastics back on, handlebars. Oh yeah, something else here. Show you this real quick. Handlebars, luggage rack, front guard. All that stuff's already been painted. That's the one off the other quad that I bought. I painted this, and check this out. It actually looks pretty dope. Looks pretty dope, right? I mean, a little dusty, but with the silver inside, it looks kind of dope. I like it. But I just put that little cap over it to make sure paint didn't get in there. I taped the bottom of it off. Anyways, this thing is about a wrap. It's finally idling right. Man, I put so much work into this thing. This thing has given me more issues than any other quad that I've worked on. Anyways, it'll be done tomorrow once the paint's dry. All right, what's up, guys? Today is the day. It's the last day of the build. Everything's painted. Everything's ready to be put on. Wheels are ready to be put back on. One thing I did forget to do is change the oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheels and everything back on, and then change the oil, and then I'll be right back with you guys. So plastics are on, wheels are on. I got all the lights working. New gas caps on. It's not new, but I painted this one. I ordered some black ones. I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna send them back. All the hardware's tightened. Pretty excited. Just gotta put the seat on, handlebars, and luggage rack. Oh yeah, and the front guard, and I'm done. This quad is done. Only thing left to do is give it a little test drive, and then it's ready for sale. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It turned out very nice. I spent way longer than I expected on it. Lots of issues, high revving, broken bolts, carburetor needed adjusted. The light wiring didn't match the wiring harness, so I had to rewire some of that. Same with the rear light. Man, just one thing after another. Anyways, this thing's done. It was worth it to me. I'm not gonna make a lot off this because how much time I spent. Well, I guess I'm still gonna make an okay amount, but compared to how much I would normally make off building one of these, I'm not making what I'd normally make. Anyways, I'm gonna give this thing a test drive and I'm out.